Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Games and Things. It's not too late to get someone a gift that they'll remember forever. A pool table, stand-up arcade game, shuffleboard table. But if you're just looking for the final touch, a stocking stuffer, Games and Things has you covered on that end too. Right down to gift cards. If you're at the end of your rope, oh gosh, I don't know what to get this guy. Gift cards. Or this girl, gift cards. Games and Things. Because life should be fun. Don't want to be sexist here on the Sports Source. All right. The college football season ended last week with the Army-Navy game, and I wanted to show you some interesting television ratings for the entire season. We've only got a couple minutes here, but I want you guys just to react. So we're going to put the graphics up, and you can ooh, you can ah, you can point out things. Just jump in. Just don't give me complete silence. All right. Most watched games of 2023. These were the top three all year. 19 million viewers for Ohio State, Michigan. Wow. 19 million. Alabama, Georgia in the SEC Championship game, 17.5 million. Colorado, Oregon, 10 million. There are four games that were over 10 million. Two of them were the Big Ten. Out of the top 10 games, only one SEC matchup.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, only one.
I mean, unfortunately, that's all I can give you is wow.
Yeah, that's insane. Also, the power of Colorado early on, right?
Yes.
Well, I think that's massive.
And we're going to show that too.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see as many more Pac-12 teams than SEC teams, given the Pac-12's dead, the SEC's thriving right now.
Well, those are now going to be added to the Big Ten.
They are. Yeah.
Well, you know what the most interesting one to me is up there? Is Colorado State.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Because I watched that game too.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a nothing burger if you go back to August. Colorado State, you'll be lucky to have the people in the stadium watching that game.
And what's interesting is that's the only ESPN game in the top 10.
Yes.
And the ESPN with all of the SEC.
Well, here's the other side to that. Now, the big-time SEC game is just going to move from CBS to ABC. So that would be their argument. But I'm concerned about that, too.
Yeah.
ESPN, I mean, look, network. And you're on ESPN. Now, let's flip it to the next. I'm going to read this to you, but stop me where you find it interesting. Let's go to the next graphic if we can. Games with 5 million or more viewers. There were 38 games of 5 million or more viewers. 11 on CBS, 10 on Fox, 10 on ABC. So 8 on the others. Yeah. 3 schools had 5 games of more than 5 million viewers. Georgia with 7, Alabama with 6, Colorado with 5. Man, that early season Deion Sanders hype was out of this world. 7 teams, including those 3 above, had 4 games with 5 million or more viewers. So that would be Georgia, Alabama, Colorado, Florida State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Washington. Washington really in there and going to be in the Big Ten. 12 schools, and here's Tennessee. 12 schools had 3 games with 5 million or more viewers. Tennessee had 3 of those games, all losses. Alabama, Georgia, Florida were their 3. But Florida, Ohio State, Oregon, they're the most watched teams this year in college football, though. Florida, Ohio State, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, Notre Dame, Michigan, Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, Colorado. I would say that's great company to be in, but I think it also shows just the shifting nature of sports because Washington isn't always going to be there, and certainly Colorado isn't always going to be there.
But everybody else, big brands, right?
Big brands.
That's what you're looking at.
Exactly. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Of the 34 schools that had at least one game of 5 million plus viewers, 11 will be in the SEC next year, 9 will be in the Big Ten next year, 5 will be in the ACC, 5 will be in the Big 12, 3 aren't Power 5, including Washington State, who's just floating in the Netherlands. The other one is Army-Navy, the other 2. And Notre Dame, you could say they're ACC, but they're independent, whatever. But 11 for the SEC, 9 for the Big 6. So 20 of the 34 schools that had at least one game of 5 million viewers are going to be in those 2 leagues, which if you're wondering, why is all this expansion happening? That's why.
There you go.
They're just grabbing brands.
And you might as well start using it as the blueprint for your new conferences.
Yeah.
As everybody else goes away.
It's gone from the Power 5 to the Power 2?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what you're looking at.
In 10 years, don't you? If somebody figures out a way early, but once that ACC grant of rights thing's gone, I think you're 2 maybe 3. Maybe the Big 12 is just the leftover league, but the big boys are SEC and
the Big Ten.
The Big 12 and the ACC should seriously be looking at some sort of merger at this point.
Agreed.
So, all right. Merry Christmas, Jimmy. I know you're not going to be in the next segment. We'll see you back here in a few weeks. I appreciate you joining us. Hope you have a good Christmas.
Thanks, and Merry Christmas to you, too.
All right. When we come back, Tennessee's football schedule has been finalized. What are our top takeaways? What's the toughest game? What's the most important game? Come on back on the Sports Source.